Hello, 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 hello. Saturday. Hopefully, you guys can hear me, see me. Um, I was running a little bit late, but I'm glad I could make it on time. Anyway, let me know if you're in there. Check in so I know who's listening. Let me know how the audio is. Okay. So, talking about the series, I'll post this thing here. Post the link here eventually if people want to come in. Hello, Evie Eve. Thank you for joining us. Today is another good topic that in the past has created some uh, controversies, whatever you want to call it. Um, is the lighting too bright? Let me do this. Let me do. Is it better? Is this better? I think this look a little better. I believe. I think this is better. I think. Let me know. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you. So anyway, in the series, I'm going to Ghana. I'm going to Africa. We continue with the third episode, I believe, which is a big one, the financial preparation aspect. And everybody has a view on that. That's fine. We all can be right. Um, and so I'll give you my take. About a year ago, slightly over a year ago, I did a video about a breakdown for what I think it would take to live a comfortable life for a family of four. I think it was like 5,000, 5,100 USD a month for a family of four in Ghana with two kids going to a good school and being able to adequately have emergency savings and also take care of any contingencies that come. Okay. So we started with overall preparation, visiting. We talked last week about visiting what it means to visit and what you should be looking at when you visit. Um, and so today we're going to talk about the financial preparation. So ideally, what usually happens, or what we've seen at least on social media sometimes, is just people pack and go, um, because they've had it um, in their respective place, and so they'll just pack and go. And so while it may work for some, I don't think that's a good way of doing things, right? You really have to. Life doesn't work like that. If you are just doing stuff because of emotions, you are going to put yourself in a situation, and that will be irreversible sometimes. So ideally, you want multiple streams of income, right? So multiple streams of income, some stability. So you want stability of income in there. And if you're a couple, at least you want two stable incomes. And then there's other things that you have to also consider doing to bring money. Because when you remember, there's no safety net. There's no safety net in Africa. So you have to cough up everything. And each family dynamics, is different. And so it's like people have to look at their own situations. If a single person moves, then a family with young kids is a whole different thing. That also requires different financial resources. And so the one thing also you have to be real with yourself is the cost of living, right? A lot of people think they can just go and decrease the lifestyle. You want to go to Africa and be frugal, but your whole life you've never been frugal before. I don't think you can do it. Even if you can do it, you're not gonna be happy. because you're gonna start cutting back to a point that you will not be able to enjoy your stay. And so be realistic with what um, the cost of living for you is, right? Be realistic for yourself. Don't look at what somebody else is doing. The worst thing sometimes you see is people say, um, this is how much I spend on this, this is how much I spend on this, this is how much I spend on this for. So I'm talking specifically on the cost of living aspect, but that is not you, right? That is not you. So everybody's different. So, and you also have to factor in the inflation aspect, right? In Ghana, as you for cost of just living, you have to factor that in. And also emergencies, right? Emergencies are very, very important. Like what happens if, like, someone say you have a special needs kid that require special medication, or you know care, or specialized care. How are you going to do that? So all these things are very, very important. And the family dynamics, what do you want? Some families are more active. The kids want to do something, they want to enjoy their life, they want to go to these excursions and stuff like that. That is going to involve a lot of money. And so once you have this stability of income, then you also want, now basically, you also have to create some revenue stream, right? Some revenue streams that you want. And so what is going to happen is this. You go in there, you start this business, and sometimes it takes a little bit time, for the business to do well, right? So you have to factor that in. And food, okay, you can play around with food, you can grow some and stuff like that, but there are sometimes that you also, when you go out, you have to buy food, and depending on where you are going, that's going to factor into the cost. Now, if your income, let's say the job you have, if you can work remote, that's awesome. But also with a changing economic situation with COVID, especially what is going on in the world, is like, your employment can be gone. And it's interesting because employers are rewriting the contract now, saying that the job is not guaranteed due to several factors, right? So things are changing. So you have a stable online business, making sure you have your money, you're saving adequately. Um, and and some say, Tony, can I move and do YouTube? Um, well, you could try. I mean, you could try. Maybe it's going to work out, right? So but I wouldn't rely on that as main source of income. And so you really, and I always tell people this, it is very important you meet with a financial advisor. For example, if you want to retire, and then look at how much you need to save when you retire. And I think once you do that, and the numbers they give you, you can really think about it and say, Tony is not crazy when he start giving all these high numbers, because there's a lot of money that you need to maintain the lifestyle that you have, right? And so I think people need a reality check of how much you are going to need, and chances are you are going to need more in Africa than you do here. There's no copay, so when you go to the hospital, you got to pay up, right? And so, and if you want the quality of care, you're going to pay up more money. And so these are stuff that, if it's not planning to the budget, is going to cause a lot of stress, unnecessary stress. And so you really, really have to look at this very, very carefully, and do not underestimate how much is going to need. You might have to get away from the videos like, how to move to Africa and live on $10 a day. Yeah, don't watch those videos, because it's not realistic. and stuff like that. So other than that, what is happening is people will go and then they will come up with some schemes about, let's do this black thing. Let's come with some financial institutions. Let's put our money together and do these things. And next thing you know, people are stealing money. People have dissolved the company, the financial company, or whatever the business. There's a lot of that. And the reason it's easier to do in Africa because they can get away with it. Here, the law enforcement can get involved, right? And so you have to be really, really, really realistic about these things. And I know the way sometimes people are trying to finance these trips or this relocation is, they get some deal and somebody offer them, hey, if you put 1,000 here, it's gonna grow every month, and by the time you move next year, you got 50,000. It's not true. I would have find it. I'm everywhere looking for good deals. Okay, it's not true. And so the financial aspect is really, really important because Ghana, if you're gonna do it, money or heavily connected. So you have to really sit down and figure and be honest. That means maybe you may have to postpone your relocation for another year or two to build up your income and stuff like that. So if that's what you do, that's what you do. Other than when you go there, you are going to struggle. And even when we see the YouTube videos with the smiles underneath that, some of us are able to know like it's difficult. It's really difficult for a lot of people because Ghana, you wake up and the money is just flying, right? Okay, so don't forget the cost of education for your child is very important. Is very important. You want to set the next generation to win. You want to set them up, so you want them to win. And a strong education that's competitive is very, very important. Um, special needs kid costs way more, right? Like if you're saying it's very important, it's going to come out of the budget. And not, and some of these African countries don't have all the resources to deal with special needs care. When I was going to school, we didn't have any option for special needs care. There was nothing, right? Food is becoming expensive too. Yeah, you can grow some in the backyard and all that stuff. That's great, but when you do go out, you can't bring your produce and eat at a restaurant. You have to pay some money and stuff like that. All right, FK, right? There's not even okay in UK. So you know, Ghana have something, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to. You want to. The ministers are not even doing that. So multiple streams of income, two being stable. Those are the foundation blocks. Very stable. Like okay, you know what? At least if all things fail, I have these two income that I can still take care of my things. So if you are moving, maybe talk to your job to see if they allow you to work remote. Okay, because when you go down there, okay, right? So education, right? So you have to really pay. You can't put them in the government education system. I will not. I will not. I will not. We all went through that system, and I'll tell you. So okay, now post. If you have any questions here, you can put it in here. I'll put a link in here if you want to join me. You know, I want to see what do you think. How much you think people should plan for, money wise. So here's the link to click. You can click and join me here. Um, but you will need a lot of money. You will need a strong emergency savings. Is uh, I'll put emergency at 50K. So I'm giving you these numbers. I'll put I'll put emergency at 50K because if something happens, you need to fly. You need to fly them out um, ASAP. Let's say the airline sometimes will require they fly with another person. Let's say if it's business class that is open, that's 6,000, $7,000. That's going like that, right? Or 8,000, depending on when you are going for two people. Okay, and so and then maybe if you have the rest of the family down there, obviously you need money to leave for them to, or if the whole family wants to come back, that'll just eat up into the money. So it's not a joke. People on the plane these things, and I'm gonna go to Africa and cut back and cut back and cut back and leave all that stuff. When you are not, that is not the lifestyle you have here. When you don't do that here, it's not. I don't see it being feasible unless you can do it, but you are not gonna be happy. You're not gonna be happy if you enjoy AC, power, adequate water, and you go to a place and you don't have those things as constant. You're not gonna be happy. Now you can convince your brain anything that is well, that's fine. You're not gonna be happy. There's a couple of online schooling. Online schooling is great, but also have to be matched with some kind of like practical, so you can get a theoretical version of the information. But especially some fields, when in the STEM's field, you need to go to the lab. You really need to grab things, measure things, pull things, observations. That is very difficult to duplicate. Some can duplicate online, but not all of them, right? And stuff like that. And so yes, so you need that multiple streams of income with two being stable. Two being stable, you know that let's say at the end of the month, this two is coming in. No matter what, whether I sleep or I don't sleep, is coming in. Then the rest, if it's a business, is going to fluctuate. It's going to go up and down. Some months you're going to make a lot of money. Some months is going to go to just like all businesses. But you need that. You need at a certain point when you live down there, your lifestyle may be depending. Some people is going to increase. Some people is going to it's going to be modified. But then even if you modify your lifestyle in terms of spending low, things always prices are stay high. Rent is going to be high, food is going to be high, transportation is going to be, gas is going to be high, purchasing of good is going to be high, educational cost is going to be high, healthcare is going to be high, building is going to be super high every year, right? So even when you cut back, you're still spending money year to year. The question is, are you making more year to year to break, to deal with inflation and other things that come up, you know, other things. All right. It can't be just EVE. There's a bunch of people over there. Check in. Let me know who's there. Um, and also too, good internet, right? Good internet. So there's so many costs. I'm yet to see anybody that break down, because you really want to break down a monthly how much your money can be spent on in Africa. It's probably gonna be 3 pages. There is so many things. Here is very easy. Yes, very. Here is probably like half a page. You know, it's just half a page. Because if you're renting or whatever, sometimes you can even combine all like um some of these costs to just one. And so it's just so many things. You know, transportation here is cheaper here than over there. Gas is cheaper here than over there. The wear and tear on your car is better here than over there. It's cheaper in some places here than over there. If you get a good job, you have a good insurance, you do your copay or your deductible is low, it's cheaper here because over there it's just cash. Right. If it's $5,000, you gotta bring in $5,000. for that healthcare. So I get eerie when people think it's cheap. It's not. Okay. If you don't have any questions, maybe rumble for about another 10 minutes. So I revisit that video I did. Um, is that a family of four? I'm gonna restate that again. I did it a year ago. Family of four with two kids. I still stand with that assessment that I made. Will be $5,000, $1,100 a month USD for a family of four with two young kids going to a good school. That's how much you will need. You need to be comfortable. To be comfortable. Comfortable meaning that when the power goes out, you know, it can be restored. There's adequate water. There's AC. There's hot water. There's internet usage. Those kids use a lot of internet. If they're working online, they're gonna use a lot of internet, adequate food, some entertainment, some life that you want to actually go and enjoy life. You might do a few excursions. Emergency will happen. Things will break down. Transportation costs, food, um, clothing, buying data, taking care of people, paying the caretaker, paying the. You can say, okay, I'll do everything in the house. Fine, that's your thing. Paying somebody to take care of the yard work. You can say, I'll do all that by myself. That's fine. That's how you want to spend your time. Um, and if you have a vehicle, maintenance, right? Things will break down. Sometimes you have to order the parts from outside because it works well that way, or the newer parts over there will cost you a little bit more because what it is that they are shipping the stuff. So obviously they're supposed to make profit. So they're paying duties on items and shipping and all that stuff. So there's a lot of things, and in Ghana too. Make no mistake. If if you want things done, you're gonna pay more money, flat, flat. Else you don't. It doesn't get done. You will pay somebody to get the job done for you, and that's gonna be additional cost. And when you drive, so you can call it miscellaneous. And basically when you go by land, you will deal with land guards, all kinds of stuff that will come. You deal with stuff a land commission. So you're gonna call for money. I don't care who you are. And sometimes when you need to get in some of the top schools, you're gonna call for extra money. So these are stuff that you don't have to do here. So it's all financial. It's all financial. Other than that, you're gonna go over there, and chances are you're gonna get into some scam activity that is gonna go on. There's a lot going on with our people getting down there, and they coming out with this scam. And I think some are coming up through the social media, and all kinds of stuff because people are not preparing. They are not really preparing well, and they want to use somebody's leverage to make more money. And so that is what is going to happen. You will, um, and so you will have to pay more money. Even GIS and the schools, you will pay. There's some schools in Ghana is $20,000 a year, right? And so it's pay as you go. Credit card only works in a few places. Some top restaurants, the hotels, most of the hotels can take credit card. The big ones can take credit card. And certain credit cards, American Express, sometimes they don't want to take it because of the high fees. And so you got to use your Visa or MasterCard, stuff like that. And so these things are no joke, and people really think they can do it, and they go there, and then they stumble, and then they get desperate, and then when they get desperate, you know, they come with all kinds of stuff, or they come back and they are quiet. And so you will need, the goal is maintain your lifestyle here. That is realistic. If you want to decrease the lifestyle, you can do to some extent, but you start going to places that you are not going to be able to enjoy your quality of life. When you cooped up in the house because you don't have money to go outside and even go to the beach and have some barbecue and enjoy a drink or two, and watch the ocean. Instead, you're at home convincing yourself you can just get some sand and put your leg in a bucket of warm water and stimulate the environment. Um, it is what it is. $2 a day. Yeah, you can pull it off. Okay, so well, there's some dialogue going on back and forth. Anyway, so you will need money. You will need a lot. Things will break down. Maintenance for a house, things will break down. They'll come out of nowhere. They'll come out of nowhere. You'll be surprised. I went to Ghana one time. I bought blender. I bought blender 3 times in 6 months. And I bought what supposedly was good, but for some reason, I don't know whether it's the power or something like that, and stuff like that. And each was like 350, 400 CDs, right? So $250, if you combine all of them together, that's just on blender. Okay, you can go to the blender here and get like $15, right? Things happen. Are you gonna say that you're not gonna use blenders anymore and stuff like that? You could, but I'm saying convenience. When you're comfortable, you're happy. When you're not comfortable, you're not happy. And when you throw in a bunch of people in the house, or maybe you the guy, you can deal without AC, the missus can't tolerate, then there's a fight, right? And then the missus are going out and seeing the life she could have had. That's a whole different problem. Okay, so plan well. Don't underestimate it. Africa is not cheap. Anybody that's telling you that is straight out lying to you. It's not cheap. If you want to live, if you want to go live like the poorest of the poor, you can try it. But they are adapted. They know that environment. They can deal with that environment. They're not happy, but they are tolerating it. They have accepted certain reality. You have never lived like that. You have lived in abundance of water, power, infrastructure, everything. You've never lived like that, so you can't do what they do. It's not you. So just be realistic and plan well and execute. Don't burn all your bridges though. You know, there's don't burn the bridges. You may have to come back and regroup, which is fine. So don't destroy everything before you go. Um, and then there's certain things I'm not going to share here. Consultation. Um, and so you really have to really look at the financial, because I think moving there is 99.9 financial. If you're financially strong, you navigate, you'll be fine. You can create businesses, you succeed, you can connect yourself, um to people, and even like sometimes registering a business, right? If you know somebody, it could determine getting it done in a week or 4 months. Okay, you go down there, you want to start business, you don't have 4 months. That's money. Okay, that is money. Um, so the planning is really, really important. Yeah, and so is really, it comes down to that. Really, really comes down to. So emotions are great, but you have to sit down and really look at the numbers, and you got to start doubling some of these numbers that are coming out. um it's not true. And when I'm in Ghana, I operate both extremes. So even if I take the median, you still need some money. Um, and the criteria is different from somebody who grew up in Ghana who had nothing. His standard of living is different than you. You live in the U.S., Canada, Europe, and you want to go there and do what they do. I don't see how you can try. You can try, but it's going to be really, 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 really hard, right? Really, really hard. So you really have to look at your family dynamics and decide. Because I can tell you, these kids, some of our kids, they're not going to put up with certain lifestyle. They're just not going to do it, right? Because, and I think it should be maintained, you know. So don't move them here, put them in a building that is not safe, you know. Don't put them, you know, if they want to go to the beach, they're going to the beach. If they want to, you know, do certain things, they should be able to do that. Okay. Um, because if they're not happy, eventually it's like it's gonna cause a problem for you. So you have to look at those things. So I'm all about maintaining the minimum is maintaining your life you have here, and how much does it cost to live here without any government assistance or anything like that. So when you get paid, how much are you spending here monthly to maintain the life you have? And at minimum, that's what you will need at minimum. But in certain areas, you will pay more, right? You'll pay more. Rent is going crazy now, like land sales is going crazy. And I think the next 5 years, a lot of people are going to be homeless or people just moving into uncompleted building. It's crazy, you know. So, in building prices, you know, materials, you know, is creeping up. Those who are building will know and stuff like that. So, but for family of four, 5100 still stands until something changes. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. And if you are renting, you probably need a little bit more, right? Because what usually happens when you rent and something happens, you call the owner to play these funny games with you. What if you need that fix? You're gonna play yo-yo with the landlord. Then in the end, when the landlord feel like you start giving them problems, they want to evict you. Then you can say, "Well, I'm under contract." There's so many things they can do to evict you. There's not a US. So many things to evict you. So get your own. You know, get your own house. Take your time. Build your own house. Have the freedom to be a boss. Own your place. You don't need anybody's input. You don't need somebody's permission. When you can come in, what you can do to the house, how you can paint it, what you do, that is going to also increase your happiness. You know, and so these are some of the things that I think you really need to factor in. But if you are financially prepared, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Now, sometimes people on the financial aspect, people reach out to me and say, Tony, I want to. How do I move all my money into, in this case, no, a bank in Ghana and stuff like that? Why? You know why? You want to do the black thing? Ah, okay. I can give you 4 million reasons why it's a bad idea. 4 million reasons. Because you see somebody else do it, so you do it. I was a banker for 9 years, and I have two bankers friends. One is a manager in the Ghana bank, so I know what is going on. There's certain things you don't do because you see that. You don't want to ever risk everything that you've earned for. You've earned your whole life to a place that it can just disappear, right? So you gotta be smart. You really gotta be smart and know who you talk to, who can help you. without the fluff and stuff like that. So it's all money. Make more, save more, be strategic, and that is why we even talk about layout over size in the building aspect. Because big house, no money, bad idea. Small house, lots of money, smart person, right? So that's the thing. That's the thing you have to really factor in. Okay. Other than that, 5 more minutes, then we're gonna wrap up this. I think there's a conversation going back and forth over there. TV and I dreams about the Ghana education system, right? Okay. So that's what you need. Family of four. Go look at our post that video on the link in the description. The one I did slightly a year ago. I was right. Put it out. I was right. Numbers are right. Still stand by them. But few years is going to change. That number is going to go up as things go up. So it's about comfortable. What does it take to be comfortable? You decide. Okay. $2 a day, $5 a day, maybe to somebody who has no options, um, um, and maybe doesn't want anything more in life, doesn't know that there's more to life. Maybe $5 a day, $10 a day might work. But can you even spend $10 a day here? You know, sometimes people just gotta be realistic, right? It's not really, possible. That is like below the poverty line. Okay, that I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So it's not possible. And it can be maybe $50 a day or something. It can be like you gotta look at it from a month deal, because sometimes in a day something may happen and $200 is gone, $300 is gone just within that day, and maybe the next day is $20. So you gotta look at it in a month totality. How much are you spending? It's gonna take the same thing. How much you spending here? Or some areas a little bit more. Okay. Other than that, thank you. Let me see who was here. I'm give a few shout out. Eve. Thank you. Nana Dreams. Good to see you again. Eric, thank you for joining. Um, you guys are having debates over there. That's fun. So anyway, so that's what it is. So you need what money? You need a lot. You need a lot. You need money for your healthcare needs. You need money for backup savings, because there's different from emergency savings. Two different things. Okay. And the emergencies are emergencies. That means like life and death decisions. Going to go buy a car. It's not coming from the emergencies. Emergencies are life and death. That kind of stuff. So and you just got to start piling them up and cut back, on your lifestyle here to make that money. So when you go over there, you can actually live the life that hopefully is better than how you live here. Other than that, you're gonna you're gonna be coming back, and that would have been. And also look at it this way: you can do a year. Anybody can do a year. I think I can move to Ghana without money in a year. I'll survive in a year. Anybody can do a year. If you're moving there, it's permanent. So can you do 10, 15, 20 years? Can you? If you should live in Ghana for 10 years, the money you are bringing, assuming you start a business and the business is not yielding the income that you wanted, do you have that money to sustain you and that kind of stuff? So you have to look at that. Don't look at it like, okay, this is what I have for this year or next year. No, because the money you are bringing is you're gonna go through that very very quickly, very very quickly, and so it's like it's just looking at long term. Um, and I think for most people, financially they're not there yet. They're not there yet. So they need to just build up a little bit for our people, for me, our people. Because I'm looking at the data, we're not there yet, you know, because I know on average how much we make in America here. So we need to build up a little bit cushion in there. So when you go there, you can take your time. Okay. Other than that, thank you everyone for joining me here today. As we continue the next episode. So the financial preparation is very very important. If you do that, if you do that homework, you'll be fine. You you have great. You enjoy Africa to the fullest. You'll be happy. You glow. You'll be in the presence of. You feel like life. It's like you actually gonna be happy. Other than that, it's gonna be tough. All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it.